Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine. So, today we are going to start your next topic of grammar, which is auxiliary verbs. So, what are auxiliary verbs? So, students, these are also called your helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. The words like is, am, are, do, does, or may, might, can, could, all are your auxiliary verbs. So what is the use of these and what are the different kinds of auxiliary verbs we have? So all these things that we are going to cover in this today's lecture. So let us proceed further. So first of all, the function of auxiliary verbs. Let us discuss about the function of auxiliary verb. What is the function of using these words? So first, if you look at these sentences, first one is Tina had taken the shortcut. So here the words which are written with red color had taken. These means these two words are acting like auxiliary verb here. Then combination of these two words. Then in second, the little child was crying inconsolably. Then I was asked to submit my papers here. Then fourth one is you must send me the essay today. Then where do you study? Last one is the question form. So in all these sentences, the word combination which is written with red color, all these are called your auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs. So what are the function of these words? So let us discuss about that. So function of auxiliary verbs here, look at this table. So verb combinations, as in first sentence, if you look at first sentence, had taken is given. So yes, we talk about had taken now. So had taken, this is used to, you can say, make past perfect tense. We have done here tenses, present, past, and future tenses, and then further four kinds of all those tenses. So past perfect tense, if you remember, the rule to make past perfect tense was had plus third form of the verb. So here we are using had taken. Taken is the third form or the past participle form of the verb. So that is why here had taken is used to make the past perfect tense. Then if you look at the second one, was crying was the verb combination here. So was crying. Crying means cry plus ing. So we are using ing form, and the helping verb we are using as was, which is a past, which we use in past tense. So what is it? This is used to make here past continuous tense. Then third is combination is was asked, so it is used to make passive. Then fourth is must send. Must means something that you must do. So that is means compulsory to do, obligation to do something. So it is used to express an obligation or compulsion. Then fifth is do study. So if you look at the fifth sentence here, where do you study? So if you now look at this, you know that where do you study, it means we are asking a question from someone. So do study here, this verb combination is used to make a question. So I hope the function of different auxiliary verbs is clear to you. First of all, you have to recognize the auxiliary verb combination from the given sentence, and then you have to recognize what kind of function that is being played, that those words are playing in that sentence. So then, now if we talk about auxiliary verbs, what are auxiliary verbs actually? So the words like had, was, must, do are all your auxiliary or the helping verbs, as we have studied these words in your the previous sentences. The words like had, was, must, do, all these are your auxiliary, or we may call them helping verb also. So then have no meaning on their own. What does it mean? Means if we are having these words alone, had, was, must, they don't have their particular meaning, but necessary because they help the main verb to form grammatical structure of the sentence. But these are very necessary because these help the main verb to form grammatical structure of a sentence. These are helpful, or these are used in a combination with the main verb to make a sentence senseful. So means they help the main verb, that is why they are called your helping verbs also. So or the auxiliary verbs. So helping verb or the auxiliary verbs are the words like had, was, must, do. These do not have their own meaning, but when they are used with a combination of main verb, then they you can say they help to complete the grammatical structure of the sentence, or they make the you can say they make senseful sentence. Whether we are talking about past, past perfect means which kind or which category of past, past perfect or past continuous or simple past. So these kind of words which are known as your auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs are helpful in making the sentence senseful or to complete the grammatical structure of a sentence. So then, moving to the next page now again we will discuss about the important functions of the auxiliary verbs in details. In the first page we have done only few, you can say usual, or only few words, and to understand what are the functions of auxiliary verb, here in this page we will discuss about these things in detail. First of all, to form questions, auxiliary verb change places with the subject to form questions. So this is very easy or common use of auxiliary verb. What is this use? Sometimes you might have seen we write the auxiliary verb or the helping verb SMR at the starting of the sentence. So what are they are saying in this here in these lines, that sometimes they exchange the place or changes the place with the subject to form questions. So yes, this is taking too long. If this is your common sentence, you can say simple statement. If you write is at the starting, then it will become a question. Is this taking too long? And a question mark. Similarly, I can help you. So if you want to make a question, what you will do, simply you will put the can at the starting of the sentence before the subject, so it will change into a question. Can I help you? Then similarly for third one, I have had lunch. So again, if we write have at the starting, have you had lunch? So like this, again it will be helpful to form a question. So first important function of auxiliary verb is that it is used to form questions by placing the helping verb or the auxiliary verb before the subject or changing its place with the subject. Then to form short answers. To form short answers, auxiliary verb help to form short responses. From such responses, the main verb is omitted and its meaning is implied. So how? See, can you help me clean this room? Yes, I can. So help you clean the room is omitted here. So what is this means? What they are saying in the second rule, auxiliary verb help to form short responses, means only answers having few words. You can answer that question within few words. There is no need to write a complete answer or detailed answer for that thing. So to form short answers of the questions, so auxiliary verbs help to form short responses. From such responses, the main verb is omitted and its meaning is implied. Even then, its meaning is clear. So, can you help me clean this room? Yes, I can. Similarly, will you be here on time? Yes, I will. So, like this, we are not writing a complete answer or a detailed answer. We are just replying with the help of these auxiliary verb easily. Then, to avoid repetition, so we use auxiliary verb to avoid repetition. How? Bring all that you can. So here the word bring, then if you have not any idea about the theft, who has, means we are not saying who has any idea about the theft. Even if we write only who has, it's clear that we are asking that if any person is having the idea about theft. So like this, the auxiliary verbs are used to avoid the repetition in the sentences. So then next is to form tag questions. Tag questions means you might have seen this is a great book, isn't it? Today is a nice weather, isn't it? So tag question means when we use the helping verbs at the end of the question or at the end of the statement to give emphasis on something. So here, to form tag question, when we speak, we often use tags to check or reinforce information that we may or may not be sure about. So when we need to take the confirmation from the other person. So isn't it nice weather today? So like this isn't means we are taking the confirmation from the other person. At that time we use these tags. So Auxiliary verbs are helpful for making tag questions. So one of their function is to make tag questions. So how they form tag questions? This is a great book, isn't it? Means if I am asking the opinion of any other person about that book, so I will simply say this is a great book, isn't it? Then we can, you can swim, can't you? So we are simply asking. Then they were tired, weren't they? So we are just confirming, yes, they were tired, weren't they? So like this, all these words at the end, isn't it, can, can't you, or weren't they? So all these are your auxiliary verbs. So these are helping to form the tag questions. Then next is, when a statement does not have an auxiliary verb or forms to be and have as main verb, we use the auxiliary do in the tag question. So look at these examples. You like sweets, don't you? They left early, didn't they? So when a statement does not have an auxiliary verb or forms of be and have as main verbs, we use the auxiliary verb do in the tag question. When they don't have any of the statement is not having any helping verb, but we want to make a tag question, so what we do, we use the word do or did or according to the sentence. So to form the tag question when the sentences are not having, or when the statement is not having any of your helping verb. So you like sweets, don't you? They left early, didn't they? So like this, here these sentences, if you look at the statement, you like sweets, there is no helping verb in this statement, but we know this is about present, so we use the tag don't you. Then they left early, left means we are talking about past, so here we use the word didn't they as a you can say auxiliary verbs to make the tag questions. Then students, there is an exercise for you people now. Identify the role of auxiliary verb in the following sentences. So here five sentences are given in front of you, and you have to describe the role of auxiliary verb in all these sentences. So if you look at the first sentence now, we had a great time, didn't we? So simply here we are making a tag question. So in the first sentence, the function of the auxiliary verb is to make the tag question. Second, Maya has shifted to Kolkata. So has means we are talking about present perfect tense. Means here this word has, which is an auxiliary verb, is you can say it is used here to make the present perfect tense. Then third is, did Pankaj really take a long time? Yes, he did. So again, to avoid repetition, yes, he did. Means we have answered this question within few words. So to avoid repetition, here we have used the auxiliary verb did. Did Pankaj really take a long time? Yes, he did. Then if we talk about fourth one, Hina looks well, doesn't she? Again, we are making a tag question. To form a tag question, we have used an auxiliary verb here also. So I hope it is clear to you how to check the role of the auxiliary verbs in a given sentence. Then next is your next topic is type of auxiliary verbs. What are the main types of auxiliary verbs? So first one is your primary or main auxiliary verbs. Then comes your modals or the modal auxiliary verbs, and then other auxiliary verbs with the characteristics of the modals. So we will discuss. We will categorize. Firstly, we have categorized the auxiliary verb into three categories. What are these? First is primary, then modals, then comes your other auxiliary verbs with the characteristics of modals. So now we will discuss about these one by one in detail. First is your primary or the main auxiliary verb. So in this table we will talk about these firstly about the use of these, and then the examples. We will try to understand these with the help of examples. So first is be. So be is used with ing form of the main verbs to form continuous tenses. So we have done the words she is playing basketball in the garden. So ing form is used here to form present continuous. He was running after the thief. Again, run plus ing means ing form to form past continuous. So ing form is used with be to form present continuous or past continuous sentences. Then the verb be plus past participle is used to form the passives. The shop was closed, the curtains are drawn at night. So like this. Then comes your have. So the auxiliary verb have can be used to form perfect tenses. Has, have, so she has never worked before, present perfect. Then they had lived in Delhi for a long time. This is your past perfect. Then a second use of have is the auxiliary verb do can be used to form negatives of the simple present and past tense forms. For example, he does not dance very well, she did not obey her mother. So like this. Then second use of do is used to form question in the simple present and past tenses. First use of do was to make negatives. Do not, does not, did not, any of your form. Then do is used to form questions in the simple present and past form. To form the question form of a declarative sentence in the simple present or simple past, we use forms of verb do. I want some tea, do you want some tea? So we can make question using the word do. I like the party, I like the party, did you like the party? So like this we can form the question using these words do, does, or did. So second use of do is to make question. Then if we look at third one, when we use question words to form questions in the simple present or past, the auxiliary verb do comes after the question word. So if we are using the words like what, where, or why, which, all these words are known as your question words. So along with these question words also we use the word do or did or does. So do comes after the question word. The main verb comes after the subject and is always in its base form. So Karan said he was well. What did Karan say? Then Nikhil keeps all his important papers in the sticks. Where does? So here again, what did, where does, all these you can say with question words. With all these question words, we are using either do, does, or did, any of these. So does Navya dance likes chocolates? Did everybody like the show? So like this. Then do is used to show emphasis also. Sometimes do is used to show emphasis also, to put some pressure on certain words. So how does seem very tired? Sorry, he does seem very tired. Sorry, it's he does seem very tired. Then she did perform extremely well on stage. So here these two words in these two sentences, does and did, are used to show or put some emphasis on the words like very tired or extremely well on the stage. So to give emphasis on these, we have used the words does and did. So I hope the use of primary main auxiliary verbs, primary or the main auxiliary verbs, is clear to you. So then fill in the blanks using suitable primary auxiliary verbs. So now you know what are the primary auxiliary verbs. That are your be means ing form of also, have, has, had, then do, did, does, all are your primary auxiliary verbs. So here in these fill in the blanks, you have to use the correct or the suitable form of the auxiliary verbs to fill these blanks. So first blanks is, does she know how difficult that test is? Does she know how difficult that test is? So if you look at the structure of the sentence, no doubt we are asking a question, and what kind of question it is? We are talking about present. Test is given, because we know we use is for the present, was were for the past. So we are making a question. So for present we use the word does. We will write the word does here. So does is the right answer. Does. So why does? Because why we haven't used the word do? Because do we use with the plural subject. Here he, we are having a singular subject he. So along with singular subject we will use the helping verb does. So does is the right answer here. Second, dash you decided that you want to be a doctor. So we are asking again, we are asking a question. So here we will make the present perfect form. So have you decided? because third form is already given. So have you decided that you want to be a doctor? So have is the right answer for the second fill up. Have. Then third is, she speaks German fluently and dash been to Germany many times. So she speaks German fluently, means one is able to speak the German language fluently, and dash been to Germany many times. So again, to make present perfect, we will use the word has here. Has been to Germany. Has been to Germany many times. Then fourth is, cricket dash often played in the streets of Mumbai. So cricket is often played. Is. So here is used to form, you can say, the passive form of the sentence. Then fifth one, Meena dash not like anything her parents bought for her. So Meena, that could be a here you can write the word did. So yes, to make a negative, Meena did not like anything her parents bought for her. Meena did not like. In fifth one, you will write the word did. Then sixth is, he dash appear innocent though he was accused for murder. So sixth is, he dash appear innocent. He did appear innocent. Here we are using this word did to show some emphasis. So he did appear innocent though he was accused for murder. Then seventh is, dash we known she was so cunning we would have been more careful. So here, had we known, we are talking about past perfect कि अगर हमें पता होता. So had we known. So here we are making past perfect. Then eighth, if we talk about eighth, Reenu dash washing the dishes when the bell rang. So if we look at this sentence, washing, wash plus ing, so we will make a past continuous using the word was here. Reenu was washing the dishes when the bell rang. So was washing. So students, 9th and 10th, I am leaving these two blanks for you people. Try to fill these blanks and then you will get the answer key. You can match your answers with the answer key. If any of your fill up is not clear, if any of the answer here is not clear, you will get the answer key. Don't panic about that. So you can repeat the video also, then it will become clear to you. Then comes your second category of auxiliary verb, that is modals or modal auxiliary verbs. So what are these? These are used to express a range of meanings such as ability, possibility, certainty, or suggestion, permission, obligation. All kind of these kind of, you can say, different meanings. To you can say these modals are used to express these kind of different meanings. So the words can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, or must, all these words are used to show these different or to express these different meanings such as ability, possibility, certainty, or suggestion, permission, or obligation. So let us look at the uses of modal auxiliary verbs. So first is, she can solve this problem. So can solve means we are talking about the ability of a person to do something. She can solve this problem. So means we are talking about the ability of a girl to solve that problem. And can is used to express the present ability. If you look at the second sentence, I could play the piano but now I have arthritis. So I could means to say we are talking about the ability that I have in the past. I could play the piano but now I have arthritis. Arthritis is a name of disease. It is related to joint pain. So because of that joint pain, I can't or I cannot play piano now, or but I was having the ability to do that in the past. So here we have used the word could, means we are having that ability in past. So past ability को express करने के लिए we use the word could. Then may I watch the tennis match on television? So as you know, we use this word often, may, to ask or to take permission for something. So for example, you ask, when you enter in your classroom, you ask from your teacher, may I come in ma'am, or when you want to go out, then you again you ask for the permission, like may I go to washroom, or may I go to have water ma'am. So like that, may is used to take permission. And in a formal manner, when you want to ask or when you want to take permission from any of your elder, any of your senior, so then you use this word may. Then you might try solving this sum again. So might means a suggestion. Here we are giving an advice or a suggestion. You might try solving this sum again. Then she must have reached home by now. Must is used to express the means 100% surety of something, certainty of something. Here she must have reached home by now. Then could you get me a glass of water. So here this word could, now it's not being used to express the ability here. For example, if I say can you get me a glass of water, it seems like you can say in a rude manner if I say can. So could is used to be polite, in a polite manner. If you want someone to help you, so you will use this word could you please help me to check this, or could you please bring me a glass of water. So could you get me a glass of water. So like this, when you are requesting, or you are requesting in a polite manner, you will use the word could. Then you must fill out this form. You must fill out this form means when something is necessary or compulsory to do. So to show necessity or obligation, you use this word must. So there is a different use. Earlier we were using to express certainty of something. Here we are using to show the necessity or the obligation of something. So like this, we have different auxiliary verbs and the different uses of these auxiliary verbs. So form negatives and interrogatives from the following sentences. Now the simple sentences are given to you, and what you have to do, you have to make negatives and also interrogative from these sentences. So if you want to make interrogative, what you will do, you will put the helping verb at the starting before the subject. So yes, what we will do here in this sentence, we shall go trekking. Go for trekking, Anatha. For is missing here, students. Go for trekking. So sorry, here this word I will write it here. Go for trekking. So for is missing here. We shall go for trekking. So how will you make the question from this one? How will you make interrogative sentence? So simply you will write shall at the starting of the sentence. So shall we go for trekking? And if you want to make negative, we shall not go for trekking. After shall you will use the word not. If you want to make a question, then you will write the word shall at the starting of the sentence. Then second is father baked a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday. Sorry, the father baked a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday. So if you want to make a question here, there is no helping verb being used in this sentence. So what you will do? It means you have to insert helping verb from your own side. And how you will do that? Look at the sentence. Father baked a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday means we are not talking about present. We are talking about past. Baked is written. Bake is written, then we are talking about past, but we are using past form of the verb. So that is why it means we are talking about past. So we will use the helping verb did here. Did father bake a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday? And you have to remember, when you use the helping verb did, you will always use the main form of the verb in the question. You will not write did father bake the cake for Tippy's birthday? No, that will be wrong. You will write the main form of the verb only, means first form of the verb. So the right answer for a question here will be did father bake a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday? And if you want to make negative, again father did not bake a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday. So here this word did is showing about the past, that we are talking about past. So there is no need to write the past form of the verb. You will write the main form of the verb in both cases, in interrogative also or in informing you negative also. So father baked a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday. So you will write, did father bake a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday? And for negative, you will write, father did not bake a delicious cake for Tippy's birthday. Then if you talk about third sentence now, the children will be delighted. So here the helping verb will is given, or the auxiliary verb. So what you will do to make a question, you will simply write the will form at the starting of the sentence. Will the children be delighted? And in case of negative, you will simply write the children will not be delighted, or won't be delighted. Will not, won't. So children won't be delighted. So in this form, in this way you can form two, uh, you can say, negative and interrogative forms of the sentence. Then fourth is, storm clouds were gathering on the horizon. So again here were is your helping verb. So simply you will form the question by putting the helping verb at the starting of the sentence before the subject. So were storm clouds gathering on the horizon? And if you want to make negative, then you will add the word not after this helping verb. So you will write, storm clouds were not gathering on the horizon. So like this you can form the negative sentence of this one. Then next is your third category of auxiliary verbs. So other auxiliary verbs with the characteristics of modals, the third category, which are means they are not exactly modals but they are having the characteristics of the modals. So look at these sentences carefully, students. First one, I will be able to finish this today. Second is, Karan had to prepare for his test. Third is, we need not leave so early. Then fourth is, everybody ought to follow rules. So all these words written with red color, all these italicized words are modal in meaning, but they do not always behave like modal. Such phrases are called your semi-modals. And for example, about to, be able to, be, let me change the color of this pen. Yes, so about to, be able to, likely to, had, better, have to, ought to, used to, need to, dare, and would rather. All these words are your semi-modals, or the you can say modals having a meaning like modal. So they behave like modals. So then moving to your next page. So now let us discuss about the rules of these means semi-modals. So we see that semi-auxiliaries are made up of two words, two separate words. If you look at all these, so here you can see all the semi-modals are made up of two separate words like able to, had to, need not, ought to. All these are made up of two different, you can say, of two different words. So it's a combination of two or more separate words followed by a to infinitive or a pair infinitive. So for example, Sheila is likely to stay with her mother. Rashi wouldn't dare disobey me. So here to infinitive means word to, bare infinitive like dare or need not, these are called your bare infinitives. So then, unlike modals, these often change their form according to subject and may have a full range of tenses. They can also be combined with other auxiliary verbs. So unlike modals, what they have, they often change their form according to the subject. So they have a full range of tenses also, and they can also be combined with the other auxiliary verbs. So we were able to get into see the film. We were able to get in to see the film. So here we are expressing the ability that we were able to get in to see the film, but changing with tense means we are using were also here and able to. So here the word able to, which is a semi modal, it is used with your helping verb were. So we were able to get in to see the film. So here we are using these words to express the ability. Then if we look at second one, he has to take responsibility for what he has done. So again, has to take responsibility, expressing necessity. So then we will have to come back tomorrow, expressing necessity again, but taking the modal verb before it. So we will have to, Again, here have to is your semi-modal and will is your auxiliary verb. So here your you can say will is your modal verb or the modal auxiliary verb. So it is coming before the have to word to express the necessity of something. We will have to come back tomorrow. So like these all are your you can say semi modals, and you will learn the use of these when you do these in more sentences. When you apply these in more and more sentences, then you will be able to understand their roles. Then next is to form the negatives. Not is attached to the auxiliary verb that comes after the subject and not to the semi-modal phrase. So what you have to remember, when you want to make negative of any statement which is containing your semi-modal, what you will do, where you have to put the word not, you have to put the word not after the auxiliary verb. Not means with the semi-modal phrase. For example, we were not able to get the tickets for the trip. So here we can't write like we were able to not. No, you have to attach the word not with your helping verb other than semi-modal. So that could be your simple primary also, or that could be your any of your helping verbs. So we weren't able to get the tickets for the trip, then you don't have to wait for me. So again we have write the word not with the do not. So you do not have to wait for me. Then to form questions, the auxiliary verb that comes just after the subject is reversed and not the semi-modal. Again, if you want to make question, again we do not do anything with the semi-modal. We will just put the other helping verb at the starting. For example, want you able to get the tickets for the trip, do you have to wait for me? So not like that you will put the able to at the starting or have to at the starting. No, you will write the semi modals in the sentence, and you will simply write the your helping verbs at the starting to make the interrogative or the questions. So I hope all these rules are clear to you. Now let us take a look at the you can say exercise based on your semi modals. So what you have to do in this exercise, fill in the blanks with semi modals from the box given below. So already options are given to you, and then the fill-ups are given, and you have to choose the correct option. So dash first one is, there dash be a law against people who spit on the road. Ought to. So this word ought to means must. When you can say this is, you can say similar to or the synonym of must, ought to. So this is obligation, or we are strictly saying that there ought to be a rule or law against people who spit on the road. So ought to will be the right answer here. For the first fill up, you will fill the blanks with the word ought to. Then second is, she dash have faith in herself. She has to have faith means we are emphasis, we are giving emphasis, we are using this word has to here to give emphasis. She has to have faith in herself. Then third is, I dash wait here then get wet in the rain. I would rather wait here than get wet in the rain, कि मुझे यहीं पे खड़े होके वेट कर लेनी चाहिए. अदरवाइज आई विल गेट वेट इन द रेन. अगर मैं जाऊँगा तो रेन स्टार्ट हो रही है, तो आई विल डेफिनेटली गेट वेट इन द रेन. सो दैट इज़ वाई I would rather wait here than get wet in the rain. Third one. Then fourth is, you should dash find the house if you follow my instruction. You will be able to find the house if you follow my instruction. Be able to, आप capable हो जाओगे, then you will be having this ability. So yes, to express the ability here in the fourth one, you will write the word be able to. You should be able to find the house if you follow my instruction. Then fifth is, I dash learn English to improve my career prospects. I have to learn English, so it's must. Again we are giving emphasis, we that I have to learn English to improve my career prospectus, because English is very important, as you know. Then again in case of sixth, you dash inform your parents about delay. You ought to inform your parents about the delay. You must, ought to means must, you must or you ought to. Here we are having the option ought to, so you will write the word ought to here in sixth fill up. You ought to inform your parents about the delay. So yes, now again I am leaving last two fill ups for you people. Try to fill these with the suitable words from the given box. So then you will get the answer key at the end also if there is any problem. So I hope all the things related to your auxiliary verbs are clear to you. If there is still any doubt, you can just watch this video again. So thanks for listening patiently and have a nice day.